Hi everybody, this is Suzanne Spooner, QHHT Level 3 practitioner in Des Moines, Iowa, and I am here to talk about the one big worry that every client seems to have, nearly every client seems to have, before they have a hypnosis session. And that is, what if I can't go under? I waited this time, I spent this money, I've worried about this for a while, I don't think I can be hypnotized. I want to be just conked out. I don't want to remember anything afterwards or during the session. It's just a fear that people have, because a lot of the times folks that come in for a hypnosis session haven't had one before. So of course they're worried about it. They don't know what it's like. It's a new experience for them. So in the past, I've given out 3 great tips that I've come up with in my 10 years of doing QHHT. That seems to really help settle down the analytical left side of the mind so that we have full and easy access over on this amazing right side of your brain, the part of you that knows everything, our high self, subconscious, divine self, whatever name you want to give for that part of you that you all have. I could go off on a tangent why you don't know about it, but let me just say, you've been taught to not know about this beautiful right side, and that you have all the answers inside of you, and now is the time for you to understand that you've got it. So these are the 4 great tips that I have. I've added one since I did a video with the 3 great tips about, oh gosh, a couple of years ago already. So we're evolving, the sessions are changing, the clients are becoming more aware in sessions than they used to. It used to be that amnesia experience, which we don't have anymore. I tell everybody they're like 10 years too late if that's what their expectation is for this experience. It's so fun. Okay, so these are the 4 tips that I've come up with that help you to help yourself let go, allow, quiet down that monkey mind on the left side, and dive deep into this part of you that knows every single answer to all of your questions, knows every experience your soul has ever had, and is able to connect to the great collective consciousness, all-knowing. I mean, who doesn't want to hang out on that side, right? So we just have to manage this left side a little bit, because now we're in this phase of humanity where we're feeling somewhat aware in sessions. It's not bad, it's good, it's necessary, because we want to get to the point where we can do this all on our own. We don't need somebody like me, a practitioner, to walk you through this. You can access all of this information on your own. You can right now, but you're not believing it yet. So in a session, the best way to help yourself settle down and get all the information that you came to receive and more is simple. 4 tips. Tip number 1, when your practitioner starts to help you relax, it's kind of like telling you a story. Here's how you help yourself out from the very beginning. As they tell you that story, you just picture and imagine everything that they're describing to you in that story. You're going to be laying down on a table or bed, however they have their office figured. Your eyes will be closed, and as they tell you that story, you help yourself out by picturing and imagining all the things that they're describing. Just kind of get lost in the story. If you can do that, you're going to be where you need to be in these levels of consciousness before you even get started. It's so cool. It's so easy. Then, this is the very best tip. If you only do one tip, do this one. It is so good. That is, whenever your practitioner asks you a question, always trust and say the very first words that come to mind, the very first thoughts that you have. Voice those. Why that's so important and why that works so good with this process is when we say the first thing that comes to mind, we're speaking from the right side of the brain. It knows everything. It is always the right answer. It's when we pause on it and we hem and haw and we analyze it and we pro and con it. We'll take that beautiful gold nugget of truth and we'll minimize it or just throw it away because we've hit paralysis by analysis. So dumb. So that's the best tip. Whenever your practitioner asks you a question, always trust and say the very first thing that comes to mind. If you can only do that tip, you're going to have a great session, and it gets easier the more that you do it. You'll be answering questions before the practitioner can even barely get the question out. It's pretty cool. The last two tips I call just icing on the cake, because that first tip is so perfect. Whenever your practitioner asks you to see things or feel things, see them and feel them in as much detail as you can, that gets the right brain really open and juicy. By default, it quiets down your analytical left mind, and you help yourself go in deeper. But deeper and aware now. Deeper and somewhat aware, not deeper and unaware. Make sure you've got your expectations in the right place there. Last tip, usually easier for us females, I'm going to say, talk and talk a lot. Give as much information as you can whenever your practitioner asks you a question. The more you do that, the deeper you'll go, and the more information that you give your practitioner, the better follow-up question they can ask to get deeper and deeper into all this knowledge that you're tapping into. If you get short, clipped answers, they've got to try to pull more information out. It's just easier when you can be aware of what's going on around you, answer what your practitioner is talking about. If you're noticing other things, for sure let them know, because it's like your high self is trying to get your attention here or there, to tell you that there's something more to the story. But your practitioner doesn't know it unless you let them know. All right, so those are the 4 great tips. Again, as you begin and your practitioner is telling you the story to help you relax and go in nice and deep, picture and imagine everything that they are describing to you in as much detail as you can. When your practitioner asks you a question, always answer with the very first thought that comes to mind. When they ask you to see things or even feel things, see them and feel them in as much detail as you can. Talk and talk a lot, give as much description as possible. If you can do all 4 of those things, you are just going to have a piece of cake, easy, wonderful, deep, and profound session. And that's it. That's really all you need to know. And be okay with feeling aware in the session. It's a good thing because you're learning how to access this information in your own awake and aware state. If you were in amnesia land, like we used to be, you would have nothing to reference to. So this is okay. It's all good. It's because we're evolving that we're feeling more aware in sessions. All right, that's all I've got for you. That's the updated list. Who knows, maybe that will grow again. I bet it will, because evolution is always changing. And I hope that helps you to have the best, amazing session possible. All right, let's talk to you guys later. See ya.